Yo people, what's poppin', and welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it, my opinion for whatever it's worth, but more importantly, as always, asking for yours, guys. Today, I want to talk about a bunch of stuff, a little bit more on the wingers. We're apparently looking at Gittins and Garnacho. Apparently, Chelsea aren't necessarily totally sure about his temperament, which, yeah, doesn't really surprise me massively. Stories about Joao Felix as well. I mean, stories coming out of Spain saying he could be wanted by Fenerbahce. Can't really see him going to Turkish football right now. But also, more like, perhaps realistically, stories suggesting that AC Milan are coming in for him. Of course, Chelsea to Milan is a well-trodden path, isn't it? You got the likes of Fikayo Tomori, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Olivier Giroud, Christian Pulisic all recently. Of course, I've got Tammy Abraham via Roma. But yeah, there seems to be a real flow of transfer traffic towards Milan, so I want to talk about that a little bit as well. Also, I do want to speak about the fact how Bournemouth have just absolutely destroyed Newcastle away from home 4-1. A resurgent Newcastle that we were being compared to for a multitude of reasons. So I want to get into all of that today, guys. As always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting the content. I really do appreciate it. Just drop a like on the video. Maybe share the video if you're inclined to do that. But if you're yet to subscribe, why not? You're most welcome, mate. Come on, Dan. Alright then. Right, okay, so let's quickly start off with some of this stuff with the... You know what? No, let's start off with Bournemouth slapping up Newcastle, because this is relevant, guys. Of course, we drew 2-2 to Bournemouth in midweek, and it was, understandably, it was a frustrating result. Probably because we're at home, it's Bournemouth, and we're winless in 5. In fact, it's definitely because of all those reasons. But Newcastle, who have been going really, really well, have an amazing home atmosphere. They lost 4-1 to a completely decimated by injury Bournemouth side. Justin Kluivert scoring a hattie. And then the fullback, Kirkes, who's definitely not going to be there next season. So a proper big boy is going to pick him up. But Bournemouth will be dreaming of a top 5 finish, guys. Because they are... really, really, really pushing with Andoni Iraola. They are level on points with us on 37 points. So we're 5th, they're 6th. They're level on points with a Champions League place, almost certainly, in 5th. And they'll be dreaming of that, especially the results they're getting against the two teams above them, Chelsea away and Newcastle, where they absolutely destroyed Newcastle. It's worth mentioning because Newcastle have rightly been getting a lot of praise. But it shows you... When Isak doesn't score, which he didn't, he was well marshalled by Bournemouth, that they don't really do that well. In fact, Nicholas Jackson did a lot better against the Bournemouth centre-backs than Alexander Isak. I am not saying Jackson's better than Isak. I would love Isak to be starting for Chelsea. But it's just worth mentioning because maybe that wasn't a bad result after all, guys. And maybe... Bournemouth are just really effing good. We're through the looking glass now, people. So let's talk about Chelsea transfers and stuff. Look, this story about Garnacho and Gittins seems to be real. Jamie Gittins, of course, plays for Borussia Dortmund. Apparently, he used to be at the Chelsea Academy, which definitely... went past me. Wouldn't surprise me though, because everyone goes through Cobham at one point. Yeah, his youth career, Reading, Chelsea, before going to Man City for 2 years, 2018 to 2020. And then in 2020, he goes to Borussia Dortmund, and he's a youth player for 2 more years at Dortmund until he gets into the first team. He's only 20 years old now. He doesn't turn 21 until August. He's got a good return this season, of course, playing for a Dortmund side that is like, let me just quickly confirm, because they've not been good, right? They've not been, mate, Dortmund are 10th. We're going to speak about Milan in a minute, maybe wanting Joao Felix. We'll talk about how they're performing. Dortmund are 10th, bro. which in the Bundesliga, remember, there's only 18 teams in the Bundesliga, so they are in the bottom half of the league table, Dortmund. Yeah, so they are not good this season. Dortmund are not good. But despite Dortmund not being good, Jamie Gittens has 11 goals and 5 assists. So he's got 16 goal involvements, the young winger. And of course, if Chelsea lose Mudryk, then Chelsea will be looking for a left-sided winger, and it could be Jamie Gittens. Of course, it could be Manchester United. It could be Manchester United's Garnacho. Apparently, £50 million, which actually, for a player who, he did win the Puskás for the overhead kick, and is highly rated, mid-season, 50 million. I'm not saying it's cheap, and I'm not saying we should spend £50 million on Garnacho. I'm just thinking about in the climate, I would have assumed they would have tried to be a little bit more, get a bit more of a squeeze. So both Napoli and Chelsea are looking at Garnacho. We hold firm interest. But both clubs have, Matt Law writes here on the Telegraph, both clubs have doubts over committing as much as 50 million quid to buying Garnacho in January, amid questions surrounding his temperament. Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United captain, had questioned Garnacho's attitude in the past. In this season, he claimed the 20-year-old did not celebrate a goal against Leicester because he felt he'd lost the faith of the supporters. At least sing his name and stuff. Napoli, of course, they've banked around £60 million from the sale of Kvaratskhelia. And they're looking at the likes of Karim Adeyemi, which Chelsea apparently were, but it's maybe for a loan. We don't want to buy him. That's been confirmed. And they are looking at Alejandro Garnacho as well. So Chelsea are legitimately looking at Garnacho and Jamie Gittens. Look, contextually, if we lose Mudryk and we need a left-sided attacker, because, maybe there was a time when Chelsea thought, Nkunku can play on the left. He can't. We know Nkunku can't play striker. He can't play on the left. It's tough. He's an amazing player, but it's tough to fit him in. So we were okay. We were like Noni and Neto on the right, Mudryk and Sancho on the left. Mudryk goes. We need another left-sided player, and I don't think it's the kind of... We don't need to, in my opinion, we don't need to invest the kind of money we need to invest into a striker, into a left winger, because I'm happy with Sancho starting and how Sancho's developing. And also, you can play Neto on the left in a pinch. We just need an option, a good option. And, we've had some hits, players for not insane money that have turned out to be good. Maybe we can find another one at the left winger. Garnacho would surely be more than Jamie Gittens. Jamie Gittens coming home to Chelsea? Let me know what you think. Right, so I want to speak about Joao Felix now. Because he's been linked away by multiple articles here. Firstly, and rather shockingly, Estadio Deportivo have reported that Fenerbahce are in advanced negotiations to sign Chelsea forward Joao Felix. Advanced negotiations. Estadio Deportivo. I'm guessing just a Spanish newspaper? I really don't know the details here. For me, and I literally turned 25. I keep calling him 24. He turned 25 a few days ago. It's saying, while Turkey may seem a surprising move, it could offer Felix a fresh start and the opportunity to regain confidence and form. I think it's total BS, because he's struggling to get into that Portuguese national team as a starter anyway. Moving from a top 5 league to the Turkish league isn't going to enhance those chances. In fact, it's going to relegate those chances. I can't see it. Personally, I can't see it. We'll speak about Milan in a moment. And, Rafa Leao is a starter for Portugal. He plays for Milan. But the only thing I can play, obviously Fenerbahce. What's the big link here, guys? I don't know how long he's going to freaking hang around, because he seems to be wanting to just self-destruct already. But Jose Mourinho is the Fenerbahce manager. Portuguese legend, Portuguese international manager. He'll probably be the allure to Joao Felix. Maybe, I do not know, but I still feel it would be a shame for him to go to to Turkish football. Personally, I think he's far too good for that, and he's far too not young, because And by the way, I got nothing against Turkish football. I love watching Galatasaray play, and I love the sort of Expendables vibes when they've got friggin', one of a million wicked strikers that are either a bit old or they've just gone there for some money, like Victor Osimhen, or I love the fact how Dries Mertens goes there, and Hakim Ziyech, and it's fun. Do you know what I mean? I love it, but I don't think a young Joao Felix should go there at all. But yeah, that article saying are in advanced negotiations. We'll talk about would Chelsea sell Felix in just a moment. Next up, guys, Felix to Milan. And this is Football Italia writing this. While Milan complete two official transfers today, they are formulating a plan to convince Chelsea into releasing Joao Felix. The Rossoneri are very active in the January transfer window and need reinforcements to their attack. And so their new coach is Sergio Conceição, who reportedly set his sights firmly on the Portugal international. There you go, another Portuguese manager looking at Joao Felix. And me talking about how Dortmund are doing bad mid-table. Milan are 8th, guys. Milan are currently 8th in the Serie A table. They're meant to be pushing for titles and stuff. Milan are 16 points off the top. So say only top 4 will get them Champions League football. To be fair, they're only 5 points off top 4. It's very, very jammed up. But still, they'll be looking to make that difference they're not going to win the title, but to ensure they get top 4, they will want to do reinforcements, and maybe Joao Felix could do that. Let's read on. It speaks about him. He cost 127 million euros, nearly 130 million euros. Of course, Chelsea got him for quite a bargain. While Chelsea are reportedly refusing to let Joao Felix go, or leave him alone in January, La Gazzetta dello Sport and the Corriere della Sera remain confident that Milan will keep pushing for his signature. They're helped by the fact that his agent is Jorge Mendes, who represents Sergio Conceição. I think it's Conceição, I can't really say it. And his close ties with Milan. Oh, his salary, of course, is far lower than Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford's trying to find his way out of United, but he's got insane wages. Remember, Joao Felix lowered his wages significantly to come to Chelsea, so far more achievable by Milan. Felix can play as a trequartista in the 4-2-3-1 or a support striker in the 4-4-2. Milan, of course, looking at this. Well, the Jorge Mendes situation, to be fair, with Matt representing the manager as well, is an interesting one. I didn't really consider that. Firstly, off the bat, before I speak about my opinion on potentially selling Joao Felix, Milan would be much better. Milan would be much better because they're an amazing big club. Look, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, all the Turkish clubs, they're massive. They've got an amazing support as well. But European high-level, high-profile, Milan, huge. Look, Rafael Leao stayed there for ages, and he could have gone pretty much anywhere. They won the Scudetto not too long ago, Milan. And like I said, it's a well-trodden path for Chelsea. All the players I reeled off earlier, they've gone to Milan. Now, should Chelsea sell Joao Felix? I think they'd consider it, and I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you my opinion on how I feel about the player. But I feel like they would consider it, because he wasn't a planned signing. He wasn't part of the plan. He was an opportunistic way of getting the Gallagher sale over the line for profit and sustainability's pure profit stuff, right? And so what you want about Gallagher, we've done that to death. It's months and months ago. He's having a lovely time. He's top of the league, isn't he? It's a wonderful story for Gallagher. We've got Andre Santos. Yeah, they're top of the friggin' La Liga. If he goes there and wins La Liga, amazing story over Real Madrid and Barcelona. It's an amazing story for him. We've obviously got central midfielders like Santos to come back, and we've got other players basically. So we're not going to do that again. But the truth is, Chelsea needed to buy a player from Atletico Madrid so they could buy Gallagher and Chelsea could bank the pure profit. And remember, for a long, long time, the actual plan was to sign Samu Amoradion. Let's go check how he's doing, because he's gone to Porto, hasn't he? He's doing well. In 12 appearances, 2 of those were substitute appearances. How about this? In 1,100 minutes, he has 13 goals and 2 assists. He's got 15 involvements in 1,100 minutes. He is doing very, very well. So they ended up signing him for absolutely nothing, but they only own 50% of him. Atletico still own 50%, Porto own 50%, but he's done incredibly well in Liga NOS, Liga Portugal, whatever it's called. And he was the plan, bro. In fact, we all laughed when we were linked to Samu. We were all laughed when we were linked to John Duran. We ain't laughing now. So these guys were the plan. And of course, we were so close to the Samu deal getting over the line, but something changed last minute. I can't remember if it was contract salary or transfer fee. I think it was something to do with his contract changed at the very end. And the deal broke down and it was off. I think we even had a here we go from Romano. It was pretty much done. Anyway, he was the plan. And in hindsight, of course, it's 2020. He would have been perfect because he might even be starting for Chelsea right now over Jackson. Then, in fact, there's a good chance he would be. He would have been perfect and he would have been like 30 million quid, 35 million quid or whatever. But we couldn't get the deal done. Gallagher was in a Madrid hotel, if you remember, really wanting to get the deal over the line. He was convinced by Simeone that he wanted to go there, and everyone wanted it. And then Jorge Mendes rocks up and was like, Joao Felix, he wants to come back. He'll lower his wages, and I'll probably get you quite a good deal from Atletico. And it was really, historically and for the quality, it was a pretty good deal. It was an opportunist signing. So with that, with us not having the Samu and still looking for the Samu, the John Duran, the centre forward, and, I know Nkunku's probably definitely going to go at some point. You think, yeah, Joao Felix could rotate with Palmer, but because Palmer plays in every sort of game, and I wonder if there's, we all know that Esteval Willian's coming to Chelsea next season. He was recently quoted and interviewed again that, I play right wing, but I want to play on the inside, where Palmer plays, basically. That is an amazing cover. Palmer or Esteval Willian, this Brazilian sensation, this one and that one. And suddenly you think this sort of opportunist signing of Joao Felix so you could sell Gallagher, maybe the sporting directors would be like, all right, yeah, off you pop. We'll sell both you and Nkunku, which feels like revolving doors, but maybe we're just trying to get it right. Do you know what I mean? The players that work. One thing we know is that they are ruthless and brutal. They don't not do things due to their pride. This Chelsea hierarchy, like they look stupid with Trevoh Chalobah, but they brought him back. They look like dickheads. If you excuse my French. But they're like, if they see was to make the team better, so they've done it. So credit to them in that sense. And similarly, players that don't work, they'll just be like, all right, we tried, see you later. We're not going to try and stand firm on this. We're going to wait until we've got, more Cole Palmers. Obviously, that's an radical example, or even Nico Jackson. He's been a success. Yeah. So, they'll wait until they've got more players that this was a good signing. And Caicedo was a good signing, It was the right decision to give Levi Colwill a new contract. Cucurella turned out to be a good signing. They'll wait until they've got good signings everywhere, and if that means you have to sell players that you bought recently quite soon, then they'll do it, I guess. So I think they would sell Joao Felix. I really like the player personally. I've said this before. I get laughed at. I think he's like a bit of an artist on the pitch. And I like players like that. Like Cole Palmer, like Eden Hazard. I quite liked Hakim Ziyech for those reasons as well, like the stuff they can do over football. But, Joao Felix can get stuck in. I truly believe he could, if he's up to speed of the game, he can really mix it in Premier League football. So I'm kind of if he goes, fine, whatever. But I'd quite like him to stay. I think I'd rather he stays than Nkunku. So there's me nailing my colours to the mast there. Guys, let me know what you think. Hopefully you've enjoyed my commentary on these stories. Please do consider supporting the content by dropping a like on the video. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, do subscribe. And I will see you back here, hopefully, very soon. Peace.